You know, it's funny how life doesn't just hand you the truth on a silver platter. It throws it at your face when you least expect it, when you're just a breath away from everything you thought you ever wanted. The night before my wedding, I thought I was about to start my forever. Turns out, forever had other plans for me. If you're looking for a story that will make you question whether happy endings really exist, well, sit tight because this is it. My name's Sophia, and I was just like any other bride caught up in the haze of lace, roses, and future promises, completely blind to the storm brewing right under my nose. Oliver Maxwell, yeah, that Oliver had me convinced, and I mean convinced, that he was the answer to every broken thing in my life. Suave, successful, and with a family that felt more like my own than the one I'd lost. He drew me in with the kind of charm that makes you ignore red flags until they're practically strangling you. His mother, Eleanor, became a surrogate mom. His sister, Claire, my best friend. We were the picture of perfection, or so I thought. You know what I mean? The night everything changed, I was just dropping off his grandfather's cufflinks at his bachelor party, tiny, innocent errand, right? The Grand Royal Hotel was buzzing, and the staff waved me through, not a second glance. I was that much a part of Oliver's life. And then, through that slightly ajar lounge door, his laughter sharp, familiar, followed by words I'll never forget. She's just temporary, until someone better comes along. He was talking about me, about our future, with that same grin I'd fallen for, and every other guy in the room laughed along like it was the most normal thing in the world. Right there, holding that velvet box, the world cracked open beneath me. All those late nights, those little manipulations, suddenly made sense. But I didn't cry. I didn't even feel angry at first, just cold, clear, like I was standing outside my own life, watching the pieces tumble. So what did I do? I went home, opened my laptop, and dug. And let me tell you, I found more than heartbreak. I found enough dirt to bury him and the Maxwell name so deep they'd never crawl back out. Have you ever felt that? That weird, electric clarity where you see the game for what it is, and you realize you've got the power to flip the board? I gathered every email, every account, every secret, and by dawn I had it all. Fraud, embezzlement, an affair with Rebecca's own business partner. 3 years, and all I was to him was a means to an end. Wedding morning dawned soft and surreal. Me in my bridal suite, hand steady as I did my makeup or paint, not for love, but for justice. Eleanor burst in, all warmth and pride, clutching my bouquet, totally unaware that this day was about to turn into a storm nobody would forget. Claire helped with my veil, so tender it almost broke me, but I'd built my armor. I had my evidence envelope hidden, phone vibrating with messages from my PI, reporter in position. Additional evidence secured. You want the twist? Turns out, the board had more pieces than I realized. Rebecca, the other woman, was at the wedding. And so were FCA agents, quietly waiting among the guests, ready for my cue. I walked down that aisle, every eye on me, Oliver beaming at the altar, not a clue that his empire was about to go up in flames. I stopped, turned to the crowd, and let it all pour out. Before we begin, I'd like to share some readings not from the Bible, but from Oliver's private emails. The room froze. Oliver went sheet white. And just as I was reading out his grand plan for my trust fund, the agent stood up, church doors swung wide, and a house of cards came crashing down. Cameras flashed, whispers turned to shouts. Rebecca slipped out the side, but too late, her fall was coming too. Oliver lunged, but all I felt was a strange, detached satisfaction, like I was finally breathing for the first time in years. You ruined everything, he hissed, but I just looked him in the eye and said, "No, Oliver, you did that all on your own." He was led away, handcuffs shining under the stained glass, and the guests scattered, some crying, some filming, some just stunned. The weeks after felt like living inside a headline. Runaway bride exposes Maxwell scandal. My phone buzzed nonstop with calls, messages, even reporters at my new apartment. Irony of ironies. It was in Regent's Park. Oliver always said it was new money territory. Now it was my fresh start. Claire called daily, devastated. Eleanor even brought me the family pearls, saying I'd earned them more than anyone. Funny how sometimes from ashes, you get something real, a new kind of family built on truth. The investigation dug even deeper. Maxwell Enterprises crumbled. Rebecca flipped. James tried to save himself, but got community service. And the media painted me as some kind of folk hero. I didn't feel like one. I just felt free, and maybe a little sad for the girl who once dreamed of happily ever after. What do you think? Does true strength come from forgiveness, or from burning down the lies, even if it costs you everything? I never chose revenge over love. The moment I heard Oliver's true words, the path forward just became obvious. Love without respect is a house built on sand. Eventually, it falls. My consulting firm, Flourish clients, trusted someone who'd risked everything for the truth. Oliver's downfall gave me the kind of success he'd always chased but never truly earned. Sometimes karma needs a little nudge. Yeah. 6 months later, I was consulting on the rebuilding of what used to be Maxwell Enterprises. Claire at the helm, Eleanor starting a foundation for business ethics. We'd turn a mess into a mission. Life, it turns out, has a way of circling back with unexpected gifts. I spoke at business schools, telling my story, teaching the next generation to watch out for charming CEOs with perfect smiles. And bit by bit, I found myself letting goof the anger, the betrayal, even the old wedding dress, donated to women starting over just like I did. Do you believe redemption is possible, even for someone like Oliver? A year after it all, he wrote me from prison, not asking for forgiveness, but just admitting, finally, that I was right. My strength, my refusal to settle, that's what set us all free. And then came Mark. Yeah, there's always a second act, right? A professor of business ethics, genuine, no games. Our friendship turned into late-night talks, then love, real love, based on respect and honesty, not power plays. Our wedding was simple, no grand cathedrals, just the people who mattered, and vows about partnership, not possession. The greatest revenge? It wasn't watching Oliver fall. It was seeing Claire rebuild, Eleanor find peace, and building a life that couldn't be shaken by lies. Even Oliver changed, using his time inside to teach others what he'd learned the hard way. At a family dinner years later, he thanked Minute for destroying him, but for forcing him to become someone better. That's the twist most people never see coming. The villain finds his own kind of redemption. So here I am, telling you my story, hoping you see that from betrayal, something beautiful can still grow. Sometimes the best ending is the one you never plan, the one where truth, not love, sets you free, and you discover the kind of strength that doesn't just survive the storm, but builds something better from the wreckage. So what do you think? Is true justice in destruction or in transformation? Leave your thoughts. Subscribe for more stories like this. And if you've ever had your world shattered, remember, maybe it's just the start of a story even better than the one you lost.